New research shows over half of teenagers spend over an hour on their phone overnight. The American Academy of Pediatrics says excessive screen time can cut into sleep schedules, and that could cause issues with cognitive function, emotional regulation, and mental health. The situation is also under review in the classroom. Missouri lawmakers nearly passed a bill that would limit screen time at school this year, but the measure never made it to the governor's desk. Hannah Falcon has more on the push.
We were just troubled to see how many hours a day he was on the screen as a first grader.
Mother of two and retired teacher Candace Robb noticed her first grader was spending more time on the computer than writing during his school day. She stepped in to change that for her son and has noticed a big difference in his learning.
He's really performing well above grade level in literacy and academics.
That's why Robb advocated for less screen time in classrooms. A bill lawmakers were considering would have required schools to limit screen time during lessons, but it didn't pass this year.
About half of our members felt like there was too much technology and half probably felt like there wasn't enough.
Missouri State Teachers Association and other educators groups convinced lawmakers to give districts the final say on their screen time policy.
We are at a point now where technology is a big part of what's happening in the public school system. Districts need to be able to make determinations about what they can do.
One thing parents and educators know for sure, technology is an ever-present part of our lives.
Technology is culturally relevant. It's not going away. They need it in the workplace. They need it for higher education.
The screen time bill passed in the Missouri House but died in the Senate. Lawmakers can revive it in January 2027. Reporting in Jefferson City, I'm Hannah Falcon.